Good afternoon, parents. It's another Monday here. It's hard to believe we're almost in the middle of May. We've got about 3.5 weeks left, so roughly 17 days or so of school left for your students. So we're getting there. It seems like it's been such a long year, and man, really this last month has seemed incredibly long with all the planning that we're doing for next year, and then as well as kind of tying up all the things that we've had this year with our course protection and all the programs that we're trying to do to make sure all of our students are good to go before the summer. We don't have to take any kind of summer school or retain students. So make sure you're up to date with your students on those things because it's very important. Like I said, we don't want to be in the position where we're having to retain students or they have to go to summer school. And right now we have about 75 kids that are kind of in that kind of gray area for us, and we're constantly bringing that number down each and every day. So make sure we're taking care of that. A couple of other announcements for our Ranger News is learning location. You got an email from the district office from Mr. Perez in the district office and communications. It's talking about a learning location for next year. There are a lot of changes in the instructional model and what is going to be allowed for students and where they will be able to attend school. There's kind of a checklist. So it went out to the parents today, as a matter of fact. So be on the lookout for that email. And it's in person or virtual, but there are some very strict qualifications for the virtual learning. So make sure you go through that list as a parent and kind of make sure that you are taking care of those steps so that we can get those things in. I think we do have a deadline on that. Again, it's coming up pretty soon at the end of May. Again, we're just trying to make those plans ahead of time right now to make sure that we are knowing how many students we're going to have in the building next year, and we can plan for those things. So take a look at that, and please get that survey back as soon as you can. Data verification. This is the other thing. This is through your own hack account. Now, I know I talked about it last week. I'm also going to put a link in this email that's just instructions on the data verification and what you have to do. This has to go through your own hack account, not your student's hack account, because your students have a hack account, but you can't do the data verification through your student hack account. It has to be through the parent hack account. And I'm going to include some directions on there. If you don't currently have a hack account, you can apply for one, and then it'll come back to you within like 48 hours to 72 hours. You'll be able to put it in and get that data updated. So hopefully you guys are taking care of that as well. Next thing, we have the course request form, our course request changes. This is something that went out. We talked about it last week when I was with Mr. V, but this went out with your students last week about if you were looking to change your courses from the schedules that you got. If you are going to do this and you're trying to scan that, it has to be through your student email. I know the last thing I talked about data verification is through your own hack account, not your students. And then now this is the course request change form, and it's only through your student's email address. So take a look at that if you are in need of that item right there. STAR has been big. We've actually been very successful with our STAR test. Really do appreciate all of your cooperation with that. All of our virtual kids that are coming back and taking those tests, and then of course all of our in-person students that are doing it are doing a great job. So tomorrow, Tuesday the 8th, we will have our 8th grade math STAR test. So tomorrow, 8th grade will be doing their STAR test. On Wednesday, our 7th graders will be doing their STAR test. So we have both pre-AP 7th grade math and regular 7th grade math will be taking their STAR test on Wednesday. So those are the STAR dates coming up. There's more to come. We try to spread it out as much as we can, just so that we, at the time when we were doing our planning for STAR, it was during a very unsure time with COVID. So we wanted to really space our time out. And then as we got closer and we're in a much better place according to the metrics, we still maintain that distance with the testing. And we're going to continue with that. So testing will continue into next week. But again, this week, the STAR test, tomorrow is 8th grade and Wednesday is 7th grade math. Immunizations. So the next two items are going to be from our nurse. So immunizations are very important for both 6th grade and 7th grade students right now. you need to have your meningitis immunization and the depth immunization. I can't remember the DHT, I think is what it is. Just make sure your immunizations are up to date. It is required by the state, and our nurse is kind of getting that message out to people. The district is having a immunization drive over the next 3 weeks, held at many of the high schools. And again, we will put that in the email. So where our little link is for the YouTube, right below it, there should be an immunization link that you could click on and get more information. Last thing I'm going to tell you is our COVID testing. Next year, Rudder will be a COVID testing site. So we will actually have rapid tests for our students and teachers available to us weekly. And this is just a site that we're doing. Different sites across the district are doing it, school sites. And Rudder has been selected as one to participate in this. And so you can take the test weekly if you want to. Also, there's a permission form that goes out with that. And again, that information is going to go out specifically from our nurse to everybody. So be on the lookout for that as well. That's not a mandatory thing. The permission slip is mandatory. If you are going to participate in the COVID test, you have to have a permission slip. If not, then obviously you don't need one because you're not participating. But that's kind of our messages for this week. I hope everybody had a great Mother's Day yesterday. For those of you who are mothers, I know I tell our teachers that sometimes our teachers are the teacher mothers at school. I know they take great care of your kiddos. So I wanted to celebrate both natural mothers and our teacher mothers as well. So it's been a great week here at Rudder, and we want to have another great week as we head towards the summer. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we'll talk to you again next week.